welcome to Wellmas. Would you like to introduce yourself for us all today?
Yes, thank you. So my name is Michelle and I am a sound healing practitioner and I've been kindly invited to talk about what I do today. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So obviously you're a sound healing practitioner. What is that? There's a lot coming up about sound healing, and it's something that I think is growing in the last few years
Yeah.
as a well-being technique and kind of like an alternative to like that yoga and meditation. So could you tell us a little bit what is sound healing?
hmm So sound healing practices use vibration and frequency of instruments like these I have around me, the gong, crystal singing bowls, Himalayan singing bowls, and other grounding instruments from shakers to drums to koshi chimes. And we use sound, we use vibration and sound waves of these instruments to help promote deep relaxation. So deep relaxation, emotional relief, physical tension relief. And the idea is to help rebalance the nervous system. And we do that by using these sound waves to induce deeper states of consciousness. A waking consciousness, we're alert, we're ready. And the idea by inducing deep relaxation is that we drop down into other states, more relaxed meditative states. Like the sound journeys and sound baths I do help people drop down into those states to experience that deep relaxation and the deep rest. And it helps take us from that state, that high alert state of fight and flight, which we should only ever really experience occasionally, but many of us experience that all day long, every day. It helps us move from that state and drop down into that parasympathetic nervous state, that rest and digest state. And the benefits of that are huge. So sometimes I get the feeling sometimes rest is seen as a luxury, but it's actually incredibly essential, and people might only go on a holiday to experience rest. But it should be very much part of our everyday lives. And especially in this modern day Western world, it is seen as a luxury. I get that impression. And so sound healing, sound baths, sound journeys can help us remember what that feels like. And it can help us experience deep rest and calm for the first time in a long time. And I know this myself. So when I first experienced a sound bath, it was at the Life Body Arts Festival, I think it was called, in
Okay.
Woodbridge in Colchester.
Yes, I know the one. Yeah.
My now friend Wayne Hugh did a sound bath, and I was there mulling around, and I thought, well, I'm a musician, I should probably go to this thing. So I did. It was just the most incredible hour ever. I didn't know what to expect, but I came out feeling deeply relaxed, lighter, because I carry tension in my shoulders and my hips, and I came out feeling like I'd had counseling, a full body massage, Reiki, everything, and I just floated home. And it left me feeling absolutely divine and really deeply connected and very grounded. That led me onto the path, basically. So going back to what sound healing is, it is about, for me especially, is promoting that deep relaxation. I want to take people into these deeper states, and quite often people only experience that in sleep, and they may not even sleep very well, so they may not even reach that ultimate state of consciousness, the delta state, the brainwave state, that enables them to have deep sleep. And that's where the deep healing occurs. So in terms of sound healing, like I can't do that for you, but it's called sound healing because on one level it can help with that deep sleep, and on another level it helps your well-being. So for a lot of people, including myself, experiencing sound healing can leave me feeling a lot clearer of mind, which is a huge thing. If you're stuck in patterns of thinking, if you're stuck in a stressed state, you can't operate from a place of rationality, of truth. And so if we spend so much time up in this state, we make decisions and live our life by, well, essentially fear, because when we're up in that state, we're fighting the fear. We're either in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And that can leave people feeling really stuck. And if you're constantly up here for long enough, it can create disharmony, discomfort, and ultimately disease emotionally and physically, and leave people feeling incredibly lost and stuck. And lacking that sense of self. I can explain what it is out of a textbook, but from my experience, what people have come to me saying is, I mean, it's incredible. People will say along the lines of, I feel like I've had 3 hours sleep in 1 hour, because they've had that energetic reset. They've dropped right down and they've had an hour of really nourishing, replenishing rest. And it's allowed their physical body to completely relax, release that tension that we might be carrying, and emotionally feeling a lot calmer. A lot of people, for some people, they need to cry during a sound bath. And that's not because they're distressed as such. It's an emotional release. It's letting go. Other people have said they feel better in their bodies. It's helped with their chronic pain. And other people have said things like they've seen colors or they had visions. Some people have said, I just had an aha moment. I had a bit of insight and I'm seeing things from a new perspective now. I came in thinking about this and I was really stressed about it. And now I can leave feeling like everything's going to be okay, actually. I've got this, or, I'm not so attached to that issue now. So it's very, very individual, and it really depends on what is happening for you at the time. But with repeated exposure to something like this, whether it's yoga or sound healing or meditation, it can help you learn to become still, to become present, and to relax. And again, I can't stress enough how important relaxation is, and how we just don't, myself included, don't give ourselves the time to detach ourselves from our busyness
Yeah,
and
no,
rest
I
properly.
agree. Like one of the things, like as a yoga teacher, that you really find is that some people they really struggle, obviously, with the deep relaxation at the
Yeah.
end. I've been to classes before where the relaxation's only been a few minutes, and they've said, and you speak to the teacher about it, and they're like, it's because I know that there are people who come to the class regularly that really struggle with it, and I see them start to fidget, so I finish it quite soon. When I do it, I I like to kind of like lead into like a guided relaxation and then give
Brilliant.
the like a quiet time. But it is interesting like how many from a yoga side, how many people struggle with that idea of just it's like I've come to the class, I've done the physical bit, I should be okay to go home now. It's like no, the relaxation is part of it. Do you find that
Yeah.
people struggle the laying down for an hour or hour and a half, or do people
I mean,
because they know they're coming to that, do people not have that issue so much?
I think, like you say, because people are actively coming to that session and they'll have hopefully read a bit in my description of the event, what it will entail, they are more prepared. I think if I do a corporate one, for example, that's a different ball game, because people are often rocking up and they don't really know what to expect. And whether it's that or it's one of my monthly sessions, it is difficult to unwind. And if you're not used to coming down to stillness, that's a big deal. And I think what you said about doing a guided meditation into that relaxation, that's exactly what I do as well. Because when I first started, it was like, right, everyone lay down and off we go. And that's a big ask. It's a big ask to get people to come in from their busy day, they've traveled there, and then just come to stillness.
Mm.
That'd be hard for any of us. And so that transition from the busyness of the day into that bit with the sound is really, really important. And it's something that I'm constantly working on and exploring to help people begin to unwind. And it does take time, just like with yin yoga, which I also teach. You have to allow that time to happen in order to get to that point where you do relax. And
Mm.
I think for us yoga teachers, it can be really scary to allow that to happen. And 2 minutes might feel like you've 10 minutes, and it's really not. And it might take 5 minutes. It can take 20 minutes, half an hour for some people that come to a sound bath to finally let go and get comfortable. I did a corporate event a little while ago, and there was this one person in particular, a man who hadn't done a sound bath before, as far as I was aware, and he was such a fidget bum for like the first half an hour, and I thought he must hate this, he must hate this. And I was trying not to pay too much attention to him, but he was like turning over and fidgeting, looking around the room, and actually that's absolutely fine. And I do stress this: there's no wrong or right way to experience sound relaxation. Like meditation, you may do it sitting up, you may lay down, you might have your eyes open. That's absolutely fine. But because it was a corporate event, I was really intrigued to see how this guy was going to manage the whole hour. And eventually he settled, and then by the end of it he was the one snoring, and it just took that time for him to drop. But not everyone does go that far, you know. I mean, the idea is to get into that meditative state and you enjoy the whole thing, but a lot of people do fall asleep, and that's because their body is asking for it. And you know, and some people will come away saying, oh, it was only in the last, you know, 10 minutes really, or it was those singing bowls that got me. You know, and then I stopped thinking, and it's this idea that, oh, I kept thinking. So I'm finding ways to teach isn't the word, but invite people to accept those thoughts and be like, I see you, I see this, and be an observer, a witness of those thoughts, and be okay with that, you know. And you must find
Yeah,
exactly the same in
definitely, especially with
yoga.
when I teach a Kundalini class, it's, you know,
Mm.
thoughts will come up, and sometimes those thoughts might be, I don't like this, but that's
Mhm.
completely
Mhm.
okay. I mean, if it's, you know, if it's causing a serious problem, but then sometimes, again, it's identifying whether this is actually causing a problem. Is it something that I'm just unfamiliar with, and it's a chance for me to grow and experience something new, or is it something that I
Yeah.
actively dislike? But again, it's until you create that space, you're not going to find these things out. I love the idea that the guy that was the most restless was sleeping. It's like the person that
Couldn't
needed it the
believe it.
most eventually got the most out of it. You know, I love
Yeah.
that. So
Exactly.
obviously you've mentioned briefly that you are also a yin yoga teacher, and you had your first sound bath experience at a festival in Woodbridge. So how did you go from experiencing it and teaching yin yoga into the sound work? Did you have to do courses? 'Cause obviously you are also, I would like to say, an incredibly talented musician. You know, was it quite a natural thing, or did you go and like learn the specific instruments? How does that all come around for you?
Yeah. I mean, being a musician for many years, it felt incredibly natural, and it's just been the most magical way to do what I do musically. Like you know, my music's always been about deep connection and inviting a deeper connection, and feeling deeply and dropping into a place of, well, a deeper spirituality. You know, I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about connection with self and source, and raising those questions. So moving into doing sound journeys, sound baths for me has been incredibly natural. So I'm trying to think which order everything came about. So I've been a musician for many years, and I've held other jobs in the meantime. And I decided to train as a yoga teacher first of all. I trained for a year. I can't remember the dates now. It's a few years ago now. And then I went to the festival, I think. And then after that, not even leaving, I didn't really think too much of it. But after that, at some point, I must have started looking into it and realized it was a thing, not just a one-off thing. And then it was just like all the planets aligned, basically. It, it's just incredible how things have worked out. So I did a bit of training, good introduction, foundation. It gave me the confidence to get the instruments and start exploring that. And I'm now doing a deeper course to the Sound Healing Academy, doing level 1 and then level 2. So I'm constantly deepening my knowledge of it, because I'm very interested. You know, I could talk to you all day long about sympathetic resonance and brain entrainment. I am really interested in the science behind it, and so I'm looking forward to deepening my knowledge as we go on. But that's only half of it, really. For me, it's about really learning to deliver a deeply relaxing experience. It's not just a case that you rock up and you strike the gong, or you take this and do that for an hour. Of course, you can get lucky and you can make that relaxing, but it is an art to help people relax. That's my journey so far. And being a musician, actually, I mean, I've been doing it over a year now, and only recently have I finally introduced my voice, which is just, for me, it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. For me, it's been a way to show up in the world and step up and be a singer, be a musician, be a space holder through music and sound, and actually be able to deliver that on a regular basis. You know, being a musician and writing my music and releasing it is wonderful, but I still have to keep my my full-time work. So to be able to start doing more of this and come from a place of pure authenticity, not because it's something that I've just, oh, I think I'll give it a go. Everything I've done has led up to this moment, it seems. So when I get to show up and I hold space and I watch people start to drop, there is no greater magic. There is no greater magic. And it doesn't matter who you are in the room, what job you have, where you come from, how old you are. We are all together in a room and everyone is there for their own personal reason. And to get to hold space for that and to see and let people unravel in a safe place. Yeah, there is no greater sense of honor for me, basically. And so being able to introduce my voice, that has led me to call my work sound baths, which is a very common thing to call it, but into sound journeys, because for me, the sound, the singing has enabled me to deepen the experience, to invite a deeper connection to self and sacredness within and all around us. And so because we are all so busy in life, we're often only tapping into like a tiny part of that consciousness. And so singing in the way that I do, that can be quite deep, it can be quite, epic's not the word, but it can move people, and I hope it
Cinematic.
moves people.
I think you're saying
Cinematic,
it's cinematic.
yes.
Because it's not like
Emotive,
it's not singing along music, but it's music that
no.
is, it's like your voice. I'm gushing like a fangirl. Your voice is like your instrument, you know, it's that kind of
Exactly.
so yeah.
That's
Well,
exactly it. The voice is an instrument. There are
yeah.
no words. It's just using it, and that's something we can all do. Um, so yeah, perhaps that's a workshop idea going forward.
Well, you've answered
Exciting,
one of
isn't
my questions, because one of my questions was,
it?
what is the favorite? What is the favorite part of what you do?
I think it is that. I mean, I don't spend my whole time watching people, but when I do look around the room and I do see that shift happen, especially when it's people's first time, you know, they come in and like, oh, what do I do? You know, what do I do? What do I say? Do I have to do anything? You know, and by the end of it, it's bringing people back round, and there is this stillness in the room, and I have to resist the urge to talk and bring people back too quickly and ask them how they're feeling. At the end, it is that stillness. You have to be there to experience it. But there is this, imagine a pond, it's just this silky stillness in the room when you bring people back round, and it's this beautiful silence. And yeah, watching that happen from the beginning to the end, that is my favorite part. That is my favorite part. And obviously when people come and share their experience with me, I mean, that informs the work I do. I need that feedback. It's an honor when people do that, which they don't have to do, of course, but it's just that, yeah, when people feel like they have gained something from it, you know, it's a two-way process. I'm holding that space and I'm producing the sound, and of course it's a very passive experience, but people have to be willing to go there as well.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
for
They
them
have to
to
be
do
prepared to
that,
make
I'm like,
themselves vulnerable to you for that
yeah,
experience to work. Um,
exactly.
how can people recreate almost like a miniature version? Because point of the Advent is that there's obviously we're learning about lots of different things, but people can also then maybe do these themselves. How could somebody give themselves a little sound bath at home that's maybe 5-10 minutes, just to give it a go, see if they like it? Because you have your own YouTube channel.
Yes, I do. So that is one way of doing it. So at home, you could visit YouTube. YouTube is a fantastic place to find lots of wellness videos like yours. And like my channel, for example, I have a few videos up now where you can enjoy a 5-minute sound bath, 5-10 minutes with me. And all you need to do is perhaps pop some earphones in, because that's the best way to listen. So that you can hear all the frequencies properly. Make yourself comfortable, lay on your bed, sit in a chair, lay on the floor, whatever works for you. And take those 5 to 10 minutes out, allow your eyes to close and enjoy those sounds. And I forgot to say, you know, sound baths, using sound as an anchor, it's a sound meditation in a sense, sound relaxation. So focusing on your breath and focusing on the sound and enjoying that. Another way, I mean, of course, it's not just me on YouTube. There are so many different sound baths out there. So if one doesn't work for you, try another. You know, there can be drumming sound baths, there can be gong sound baths, there can be multi-instrumental like I do. So other ways to do it, you could step out of your home, you could step into your garden, wrap yourself up warm, sit down and let Mother Nature give you a sound bath. The wind in the trees, the sounds of a bird, perhaps you near the sea, a river. Go for a walk and don't put your headphones in. Just listen to nature. That is the greatest sound bath you will ever have. You know, we emulate nature in sound baths very often through rattles and wind sounding instruments, but nature, it's free, it's good for you. You get outside. So you can do that anytime. And of course, you can use your voice. Humming, using your voice box is a tool. So if you're feeling stressed, if there's no one else around, or do it in the shower, hum to yourself, because those vibrations from your throat and in your chest will soothe you, and it will help you drop out of stress state into relaxation. So those are 3 ways that you can do that at home. And of course, you can get yourself a little singing bowl, get yourself some crystal singing bowls, you know, have a look. And if you need any help with that, do shout. So there are 4 ways you can do it at home.
Well, lovely. Thank you very much. We've only got a few minutes left. Where can people find you so they can reach out, they can come to your wonderful sessions and experience your magic?
Yes, so you can come and find me on Instagram, Edge of Sacred. I am on Facebook as well, but I use Instagram mostly. And I do have a website, www.edgeofsacred.com, and I have videos there. My events are online, and perhaps if you'd like to book your own private session, like a one-to-one or a group session, just let me know. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule so close to Christmas to have a chat. So
no, really honoured.
Okay, so
thank
you everybody, and we will see you tomorrow for the next day of Wellmas.